Welcome to our journey to explore Equatorial Guinea, a small but fascinating country located in West Africa. Equatorial Guinea, officially the Republic of Equatorial Guinea, is a unique country straddling Central Africa, right on the equator. This nation comprises a small mainland territory and several islands, with the island of Bioko hosting the capital city, Malabo. Despite its modest size of just 28,051 square kilometers, roughly equivalent to the U.S. state of Maryland, Equatorial Guinea is renowned for its rich natural resources, particularly oil. The discovery and exploitation of oil in the late 20th century dramatically transformed the country's economy. In today's video, we'll delve into every aspect of Equatorial Guinea, from its diverse geography and tropical climate to its complex history of colonialism and independence, as well as its rich culture formed by a blend of African traditions and Spanish influences. Join us as we uncover the layers of this small but colorful and contrasting country. From its lush rainforests to its oil-rich waters, from its colonial past to its present-day realities, Equatorial Guinea is a nation of fascinating paradox. So sit back and prepare for an in-depth look at one of Africa's lesser-known, most intriguing countries. 1. Geography and climate. Equatorial Guinea, a small nation straddling the equator on Africa's western coast, boasts a geography as diverse as it is captivating. Despite its modest size of just 28,051 square kilometers, this country offers a fascinating blend of landscapes that tell a story of geological drama and ecological richness. The nation is divided into two distinct regions. The mainland, known as Rio Muni, nestles between Cameroon and Gabon, offering a glimpse into the heart of equatorial Africa. Here, the terrain unfolds like a natural tapestry. Coastal plains give way to gently rolling hills, which in turn rise to meet the rugged Crystal Mountains in the east. This land is blanketed in dense tropical rainforest, a verdant testament to the country's equatorial climate and a haven for biodiversity. The insular region consists of 5 islands: Bioko, Annobon, Corisco, Elobe Grande, and Elobe Chica. Equatorial Guinea's unique geographic makeup, encompassing both mainland and island territories, has shaped its identity. It has also influenced its economic activity. The island of Bioko, home to the capital city Malabo, rises dramatically from the Gulf of Guinea. Dominated by 2 imposing volcanoes, Bioko's landscape stands in stark contrast to the mainland's endless forests. Further south, beyond the equator, lies the tiny island of Annobon, a remote volcanic outpost with its own unique ecosystem. Climate of Equatorial Guinea lives up to the country's name. The mainland basks in year-round heat and humidity, with temperatures rarely straying from the range of 23 degrees Celsius, 31 degrees Celsius. Rainfall is abundant, particularly during the wet season from April to October, when the country receives up to 2,000 millimeters of rain annually. This climate has nurtured the lush forests that blanket much of the country, but it also presents challenges for agriculture and infrastructure development. Equatorial Guinea's natural bounty extends beyond its forests. The discovery of significant offshore oil reserves in the 1990s transformed the nation's economy virtually overnight. Today, petroleum is the country's primary export and economic driver, supplemented by natural gas production. The extensive forests of the mainland, while under pressure from logging and agricultural expansion, remain an important resource, providing timber for both domestic use and export. However, this wealth of natural resources has brought its own set of challenges. The rapid development of the oil industry has led to environmental concerns, including water pollution from industrial runoff. Deforestation threatens both the timber industry's long-term sustainability and the country's rich biodiversity. Soil erosion in areas of intensive agriculture poses risks to food security and rural livelihood. 2. History The history of Equatorial Guinea is a tapestry woven with threads of indigenous cultures, colonial ambitions, and post-independence struggles. This small nation's past is as complex and diverse as its geography. Long before European arrival, the lands that would become Equatorial Guinea were home to various Bantu tribes. The Fang people, who today make up the majority of the population, migrated to the mainland area in the 18th and 19th century. On Bioko Island, the Bubi people had established their own kingdom, maintaining a distinct culture and way of life. First European contact came in 1471, when Portuguese explorer Fernão do Pau discovered Bioko Island, naming it Formosa, meaning pretty flower. However, it was the Spanish who would leave the most lasting colonial imprint. In 1778, the Portuguese ceded their claims in the region to Spain, in exchange for land in South America. Spanish colonization began in earnest in the late 19th century. The mainland, known as Rio Muni, became a protectorate in 1885 and a full-fledged colony in 1900. Bioko Island, renamed Fernando Po, became a hub for cocoa plantation, while the mainland saw the exploitation of timber and coffee. Colonial rule brought significant changes to the region. Spanish became the official language, and Catholicism was introduced, both of which remain influential today. However, colonial exploitation also led to forced labor and the suppression of indigenous culture. As the winds of change swept across Africa in the mid-20th century, Equatorial Guinea began its journey towards independence. In 1963, it was granted autonomy, and on October 12, 1968, it became an independent nation under President Francisco Macias Nguema. However, euphoria of independence was short-lived. Macias Nguema's rule quickly devolved into a brutal dictatorship. His regime was marked by severe human rights abuses, economic mismanagement, and the exodus of a third of the population. The country earned the unfortunate moniker the Auschwitz of Africa due to the brutality of Macias' rule. In 1979, Macias was overthrown and coupled by his nephew, Teodoro Obiang Nguema Mbasogo. While Obiang promised reform, his rule has been characterized by authoritarianism and allegations of corruption. However, under his leadership, Equatorial Guinea discovered and began exploiting its vast oil reserves in the 1990s, leading to rapid economic growth. Today, Equatorial Guinea stands at a crossroad. Its oil wealth has brought economic development, but challenges remain in terms of wealth distribution, political freedom, and social development. The nation's history, from its pre-colonial roots through the trauma of colonization and dictatorship, its current oil-fueled transformation continues to shape its present and future. 3. Politics and military. Equatorial Guinea's political landscape is as complex and layered as its geographical terrain. Since gaining independence from Spain in 1968, the country has grappled with the challenges of nation-building, often under the shadow of authoritarian rule. The nation operates under a presidential system of government, with power heavily centralized in the executive branch. On paper, Equatorial Guinea is a multi-party democracy. However, in practice, political power has been firmly held by President Teodoro Obiang Nguema Mbasogo since he seized control in a coup in 1979. President Obiang's rule, spanning over 4 decades, has made him Africa's longest-serving president. His Democratic Party of Equatorial Guinea, PDGE, dominates the political scene, holding nearly all seats in the parliament. While opposition parties exist, they face significant restrictions and challenges in participating in the political process. The government structure includes a prime minister and a bicameral parliament, but these institutions often serve more as rubber stamps for presidential decisions rather than as independent branches of government. The judiciary, too, lacks independence, with judges appointed and dismissed at the president's discretion. Despite criticism from international human rights organizations and calls for greater democratization, the Obiang regime has maintained its grip on power. The discovery of oil in the 1990s has played a significant role in this, providing the government with vast resource sources to consolidate its control. Equatorial Guinea's military, while small, is well equipped thanks to the country's oil wealth. The armed forces consist of an army, navy, air force, and presidential guard. The military's primary roles include national defense, border control, and internal security. Country's strategic location in the Gulf of Guinea, combined with its oil resources, has attracted international military interest. Equatorial Guinea has military cooperation agreements with several countries, including the United States and China. However, the military's role extends beyond national defense. It's deeply intertwined with the country's political structure, with many high-ranking officers having close ties to the ruling family. This has led to concerns about the military's potential. Looking to the future, Equatorial Guinea faces several political challenges. The question of succession looms large, with President Obiang's son, Teodoro Nguema Obiang Mangwe, widely seen as being groomed for leadership. The country also needs to address issues of wealth distribution, as despite its oil riches, a large portion of the population still lives in poverty. 4. Economy. Equatorial Guinea's economy is a study in contrast, a tale of immense wealth amid widespread poverty. The discovery of substantial oil reserves in the 1990s transformed this small African nation, one of the continent's poorest, to one of its richest, at least on paper. However, this dramatic shift has brought with it both opportunities and challenges. Cornerstone of Equatorial Guinea's economy is its hydrocarbon sector. Oil and natural gas production dominate the country's economic landscape, accounting for nearly 60% of its GDP and 80% of government revenue. The offshore oil fields, primarily located in the Gulf of Guinea, attracted significant foreign investment, particularly from American companies. This oil boom led to a period of explosive economic growth. In the early 2000s, Equatorial Guinea boasted one of the world's fastest-growing economies, with GDP growth rates sometimes exceeding 20% annually. The sudden influx of oil wealth allowed for rapid development of infrastructure, including new roads, ports, and government building. However, the country's reliance on oil has also made it vulnerable to global price fluctuation. The oil price crash of 2014 to 2016 hit Equatorial Guinea hard, leading to a severe economic contraction. This underscored the urgent need for economic diversification, a challenge the government has acknowledged but struggled to address effectively. Beyond oil, Equatorial Guinea's economy includes other sectors, albeit on a much smaller scale. Agriculture, once the mainstay of the economy, now contributes only about 2% to GDP, but still employs a significant portion of the population. Key crops include cocoa, coffee, and timber. The country also has potential in fisheries and ecotourism, though these remain largely underdeveloped. Despite its oil wealth, Equatorial Guinea faces significant economic challenges. Perhaps the most pressing is the stark inequality in wealth distribution. While the country boasts one of the highest per capita GDPs in Africa, a large portion of the population lives in poverty. The benefits of the oil boom have largely accrued to a small elite, leaving many citizens struggling with inadequate healthcare, education, and basic services. The country is also focusing on developing its natural gas resources, seeing this as a potential avenue for economic diversification. Projects like the Punta Europa LNG complex represent significant investments in this direction. In conclusion, Equatorial Guinea's economy stands at a crossroad. The oil boom has brought unprecedented wealth, but also highlighted deep-seated challenges of inequality, dependence on a single commodity, and governance issues. As the country moves forward, its ability to diversify its economy, improve wealth distribution, and enhance transparency will be crucial in determining whether it can translate its natural resource wealth into sustainable, broad-based development for all its citizens. 5. Population and society. Equatorial Guinea, despite its small size, boasts a rich tapestry of cultures and people, shaped by centuries of migration, colonization, and indigenous tradition. With a population of approximately 1.5 million, it's one of Africa's smallest countries by population, yet it offers a fascinating glimpse into the complex social dynamics of Central Africa. The country's population is primarily concentrated on the mainland region of Rio Muni and the island of Bioko. Malabo, the capital city located on Bioko, is a bustling urban center that contrasts sharply with the rural villages scattered across the mainland's dense forest. Equatorial Guinea's society is characterized by its ethnic diversity. The largest ethnic group is the Fang, making up about 85% of the population and predominantly inhabiting the mainland. The Bubi people, indigenous to Bioko Island, form the second largest group. Other ethnic groups include the Combe, Annabonese, Bujeba, and Fernandino Creoles, each contributing their unique customs and traditions to the nation's cultural mosaic. This ethnic diversity is reflected in the country's linguistic landscape. While Spanish is the official language and lingua franca, thanks to the country's colonial history, it coexists with a variety of indigenous languages. French is also an official language, introduced more recently to facilitate regional integration. Many Equatoguineans are multilingual, switching effortlessly between Spanish, their ethnic language, and sometimes French or English. The social structure of Equatorial Guinea is heavily influenced by traditional hierarchies and family ties. Extended family networks remain important, particularly in rural areas, where they often form the basis of social and economic organization. However, urbanization and the oil boom have begun to change these traditional structures, particularly in cities like Malabo and Bata. The role of women in Equatoguinean society is evolving. Traditionally, women have played crucial roles in agriculture and small-scale commerce. In recent years, more women have entered formal education and the professional workforce, although gender disparities persist, particularly in political representation and high-level positions. Youth make up a significant portion of Equatorial Guinea's population, presenting both opportunities and challenges. While this young population could drive economic growth and innovation, high youth unemployment rates have become a pressing social issue. Migration is another important aspect of Equatoguinean society. The country has seen significant internal migration from rural to urban areas, driven by the search for economic opportunities. There's also a notable community of expatriates, primarily connected to the oil industry, which has brought new influence to urban areas. 6. Culture and religion. At the heart of Equatoguinean culture are its indigenous traditions, particularly those of the Fang people, who make up the majority of the population. Fang culture is renowned for its intricate wooden masks and sculptures, which have gained international recognition for their artistic value. These artifacts often play crucial roles in traditional ceremonies and rituals, serving as conduits to the spiritual world. Music and dance are integral parts of Equatoguinean life, serving as both entertainment and a means of cultural expression. Traditional instruments like the balafon, a type of xylophone, and the ninku, a wooden slit drum, are still widely used, often accompanying vibrant dances that tell stories of the people's history and beliefs. The Iboga music and dance, originating from the Fang people, is particularly notable for its spiritual significance, The Spanish colonial era left an indelible mark on Equatoguinean culture, most notably in language and religion. Spanish remains the official language and is widely spoken, influencing literature, media, and everyday communication. In terms of religion, the majority of the population practices Christianity, predominantly Roman Catholicism, a legacy of Spanish colonial influence. There are also small numbers of Protestants and adherents of traditional African religions, where ancestral worship and beliefs in spiritual forces continue to play a significant role in the spiritual life of many people. Equatoguinean cuisine reflects the country's geographical diversity, blending ingredients and techniques from both its mainland and island region. Dishes often feature staples like cassava, plantains, and various tropical fruits, combined with fish along the coast and bushmeat in inland areas. The Spanish influence is evident in dishes like paella, which has been adapted to local taste. Literature and oral traditions play a significant role in preserving and expressing Equatoguinean culture. Writers like Maria Nsueangwe and Juan Tomás Avila Laurel have gained international recognition for their works that explore themes of identity, colonialism, and social issues in Equatorial Guinea. Traditional crafts remain an important part of Equatoguinean culture, with skilled artisans producing intricate basketry, pottery, and textiles. These crafts not only serve practical purposes, but also carry cultural significance, often incorporating symbols and patterns that tell stories of the people's history and beliefs. Festivals and celebrations punctuate the Equatoguinean calendar, blending religious observances with traditional customs. The Festival of Malabo, celebrated in the capital city, is a vibrant display of music, dance, and cultural pride. Religious festivals like Christmas and Easter are observed with a unique Equatoguinean flair, often incorporating local traditions. In recent years, Equatorial Guinea has been making efforts to preserve and promote its cultural heritage. The government has established cultural centers and museums, such as the National Library in Malabo, to showcase the country's artistic and historical treasures. 7. Education and health. Education and healthcare are two critical sectors that play a vital role in the development and well-being of Equatorial Guinea's population. While the country has made some progress in these areas, significant challenges remain. In the education sector, Equatorial Guinea has seen improvements in recent years, particularly in terms of access to primary education. The government has invested in building new schools and increasing enrollment rates. However, the quality of education remains a concern. Many schools lack adequate resources, qualified teachers, and modern teaching materials. The education system also faces challenges in terms of curriculum development and alignment with the country's economic needs. Higher education in Equatorial Guinea is limited, with only a few universities and technical institutes. The National University of Equatorial Guinea, founded in 1995, is the primary institution for tertiary education. However, many students seek higher education opportunities abroad, particularly in Spain and other neighboring African countries. Adult literacy rates have improved over the years, but there is still room for progress. The government has implemented adult education programs to address this issue, but their reach and effectiveness could be enhanced. In the healthcare sector, Equatorial Guinea faces significant challenges despite its oil wealth. The country's healthcare system is characterized by inadequate infrastructure, shortages of medical personnel, and limited access to essential medicines and equipment. The government has made efforts to improve healthcare facilities, particularly in urban areas. However, rural areas often lack basic health services, and many citizens struggle to access quality healthcare. The country continues to grapple with high maternal and infant mortality rates, as well as the prevalence of infectious diseases such as malaria and HIV/AIDS. Equatorial Guinea's healthcare system is also challenged by a shortage of trained medical professionals. Many doctors and nurses are foreign-trained, and there is a need to develop local capacity in medical education and training. The country has made some progress in addressing specific health issues. For instance, vaccination programs have helped reduce the incidence of certain preventable diseases. 8. Tourism and attractions. Equatorial Guinea, though not yet a mainstream tourist destination, offers a wealth of attractions for the intrepid traveler. From pristine beaches to lush rainforests, from colonial architecture to vibrant markets, this small Central African nation is a hidden gem waiting to be discovered. The country's tourism potential is largely untapped, partly due to its historical isolation and focus on the oil industry. However, in recent years, there's been a growing recognition of tourism's potential to diversify the economy and showcase the nation's natural and cultural riches. Malabo, the capital city located on Bioko Island, serves as the primary entry point for most visitors. This bustling city offers a fascinating blend of colonial Spanish architecture and modern development. The presidential palace, with its striking blue and white facade, is a notable landmark, though it's not open to the public. The Cathedral of Santa Isabel, a beautiful neo-Gothic structure, stands as a testament to the country's Catholic heritage. For those interested in history and culture, the National Museum of Equatorial Guinea in Malabo provides insights into the country's past, showcasing artifacts from various ethnic groups and periods. The bustling Central Market offers a colorful glimpse into daily life, with vendors selling everything from fresh produce to traditional crafts. Nature enthusiasts will find plenty to explore in Equatorial Guinea. The Monte Allen National Park on the mainland is a biodiversity hotspot, home to gorillas, chimpanzees, forest elephants, and a myriad of bird species. Guided tours through the park offer opportunities for wildlife spotting and experiencing the lush equatorial rainforest. Bioko Island itself is a natural wonder. The Pico Basile, the highest peak in Equatorial Guinea, offers challenging hikes and breathtaking views. The island's black sand beaches, particularly around the town of Luba, provide a unique coastal experience. During the right season, visitors might even witness sea turtles nesting on these beaches. For those seeking a truly off-the-beaten-path experience, the remote island of Annobon offers pristine beaches, excellent diving opportunities, and a chance to experience a unique Creole culture. However, access to Annobon is limited and requires advanced planning. The mainland city of Bata, the country's economic capital, is worth a visit for its wide avenues, beautiful beaches, and vibrant nightlife. The nearby village of Nkoantoma is known for its cave paintings, offering a glimpse into the region's ancient history. Equatorial Guinea's cuisine is another attraction, blending African, Spanish, and tropical influences. Visitors can sample dishes like succulent grilled fish, hearty chicken and peanut stews, and tropical fruits in local restaurants and markets. While tourism infrastructure is still developing, several international standard hotels have opened in recent years, particularly in Malabo and Bata. However, travelers should be prepared for some logistical challenges, especially when venturing outside the main cities. It's important to note that tourism in Equatorial Guinea comes with certain considerations. The country has a complex political situation, and visitors should be aware of local laws and customs. A visa is required for most nationalities, and the process can be lengthy, so advanced planning is essential. If you want to learn about another country that is equally or more interesting, visit this video and leave us a like if you enjoyed it.